You're watching the TC MMA podcast.
Last night was a wild night. So let's set the stage. UFC Atlantic City in New Jersey. Erin Blanchfield at the top of the ticket. She trains out of New Jersey. Everybody wants to see her win. But unfortunately, it didn't go our way, man. We lose another main event. And I'm about to go off because now we're 4-7. And it's going to be weeks and weeks and weeks. We got to go on a run just to get back to 500. It's terrible. But we did have a winning night last night. And we're going to get into all that. But first, let's get into some clips because the UFC nearly broke a record last night for the most. I don't know if it was finishes. It's got to be KO/TKOs because it was 8 of them total, almost 9. 8's the record, or is the most. 9 would have been a record. If one fight didn't get overturned, the record would have been broken. And we'll get into all that, of course. But first, let's begin with Bill Algeo and Kyle Nelson. This fight had a great finish. Oh, and some big shots now by Kyle Nelson. And Bill Algeo's in trouble. And a driving knee. And Algeo's fighting back, but he's losing his balance here. He's got up against the fence. And Nelson's still landing. Big rights, big lefts. And man, Bill Algeo's saying, come on. Come on, bring it. Ooh, and he takes another right. And Nelson just connecting right now. Unreal. Another big right. Look at this. And a left. And a right. Oh, and they stop it. Wow, another early stoppage tonight. And this one is the biggest in question because Bill Algeo was taking it and he continued. And he's pacing around the octagon and he's not saying any words you want to hear. He is not happy about it because he was taking punches. No doubt about it. And maybe the ref was looking to protect him, but Bill Algeo looked like he was kind of reeling him in too. I mean, because he was... And here we go. Ooh, man, big right by Kyle Nelson. Yeah, and then Bill Algeo loses his balance. He takes a left, a right uppercut. Yeah, and Kyle Nelson just pounding away. And this ref wants to get in there. This ref has been in there all night tonight, it seems like. And he stopped a few others, good stoppages, but were stopped early. And that one was a little early. But nonetheless, Kyle Nelson's going to get the big victory here. And moved to 16-5. He needed that one. This fight went down featherweight division, UFC Atlantic City. Yeah, and this is kind of the main idea for today's podcast and just the whole event recap is there were some quick stoppages. Some of them were necessary. That one was questionable. I mean, Bill Algeo was getting, hammered. And it was questionable stop. But Bill Algeo could have still came back. That's what you left thinking. Then there were 2 situations last night where there was like an eye poke the fighter complained about in back-to-back fights. I mean, I got eye poked and then the ref doesn't stop it and then you get TKO'd. So that happened a few times last night, including in this one. Ruziboev versus Cedric Dumas, which ended up being a great fight, really. Too bad it didn't go longer. Ruziboev continues to come in. Cedric Dumas covers up, though. Hasn't phased him yet. With some big shots by Ruziboev. Oh, and a nice left by Dumas. Oh, and Dumas is complaining about an eye poke now. Looking at the ref like 3 times. He's got to be careful here. Now he takes a right. He goes down. Oh, he covers up. Oh, Ruziboev pounds away with hammer fist to finish the fight. And, oh, man. That's a terrible way for a great fight to come to an end because Dumas is going to get... Oh, if we see his eye now. Oh. The doctor is now looking at his eye. Yeah, look at that. So either a punch got to the eye or is an eye poke, and it's going to really determine how people feel about this fight because it happened very quickly. We won't know till we see the replay. Dumas complaining about an eye poke, and that led to the KO. Let's see. Yeah, he did. He slid the hand across the eye, but Dumas put his hands down and shook his face. Yeah, Dumas's eyes closed. And then he takes a left and then covers up, goes down, and that's it. So weird way to finish a fight, but nonetheless, Nursultan's going to get the win to move to 34-8. That's ridiculous. Cedric Dumas, wish he could have this fight back. He's going to fall to 9-2. Yeah, and there was an eye poke, man. And the ref out of position. And there's some different refs tonight. Refs I haven't seen before. And it's been an interesting night, to say the least. A lot of quick stoppages. A missed eye poke there. Unfortunate for Cedric Dumas, but it is what it is. Nursultan Ruziboev gets the win. Middleweight division. UFC Atlantic City. Yeah, and that was a rough finish because that's the fight that I think everybody wanted to see continue. I mean, these guys were coming in and trading some big shots. And then all of a sudden you get the eye poke. You see Cedric Dumas pointing to the ref, pointing at his eye. And meanwhile, there's no stoppage. And Nursultan doesn't wait for him to go through this. He just comes in and starts landing some big shots. And Dumas goes down. Not from like one big punch, but he was getting a barrage and he just kind of covered up. And the ref had no choice to stop it. That was an unfortunate situation, but not good enough video evidence to change the outcome or go to the score. It's too early in the fight to go to scorecards too. And that will be prevalent in the next fight, which everyone's talking about today. Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. I mean, this is a fight that I really thought going in Bruno Silva should win, unless Weidman is back to true form. But Weidman's 39, right? He can't possibly look as good as he did when he was like 34, 35 before the injury, could he? Maybe he could. Here's how this fight went down, a wild finish of being the fighter he once was before the injury, and a big left drops Bruno Silva, who covers up. And now Bruno's in trouble, and that's it. The ref stops it. And Bruno Silva saying he was eye poked, and here we go again. Here we go again. Crowd doesn't care. They love it, man. This is going to be a finish for Chris Weidman, but a second fight in a row where a guy said he was eye poked and the ref didn't stop it, and Bruno Silva's complaining now. And it definitely looks like something isn't right. And it's crazy that you're having these finishes and it's hard to enjoy them because other guys saying it was an eye poke. And Bruno Silva's pounding the ground. Chris Weidman's walking around, pumping his fist at the crowd, and he's pumped up. And the crowd loving this, man. So it turns out in the replay there was an eye poke. But there was already 2 or 3 in this fight. And I think the ref was just kind of like, let's let this thing go. They look at, we get to the point here in that clip where it's like, okay, Weidman wins by TKO, but they're spending 2 or 3 minutes. I didn't want to have you sit through all that. Where they're reviewing it. There was an eye poke. They went to the scorecards. Weidman still won 30-27 on all 3, unanimous decision. And the reason why this is important is if they don't change it and it remains a TKO, the UFC breaks a record for the most TKOs in one event, which would have been 9. Instead, it was 8. So, very interesting, to say the least. Now, another great fight in the co-main event, a fight that I really couldn't wait to see more than any fight, to be honest, was Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley, because this is a chance for Buckley to get ranked, and he went after it, and we predicted him to win. And this one came through for us in a great way. Pounded away on top. And Luque's just covering up right now. And how long can the ref let this go? They're not big, but he's not fighting back. Look at this. Look at this, Buck. Look at this, Buck. Come on, Buck. Come on, Buck. Stop. Yes. 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 Joaquin Buckley gets the KO, and he's officially a ranked fighter. And is he breaking down? Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he's shedding some tears. And you could just tell, listen, man, when you're talking about the welterweight and lightweight divisions, it's a feat. It's a big feat just to get ranked. It's definitely a big feat to get ranked. in the welterweight. And that's what Joaquin Buckley did last night. And that's a huge. And Vicente Luque is just trending downward, and he's only 32, man. He's just falling off the cliff big time. And we'll have to take another fight against an unranked opponent, likely. Doesn't seem like he's close to retirement. He's got another 3 or 4 years, but he's got to make a change. I don't know if it's a weight class or whatever, and that's hard to do up at this age, but Vicente Luque is really, really struggling. Now, in terms of the picks last night, you see him there. All right, 8-5 overall, but we lose Erin Blanchfield in the main event. She just didn't fight well. It's 50-45 across the board. Blanchfield didn't win one round. But we started the night strong, 3-0. We lost Connor Matthews, but got Julio Arce and Vernon Jandaroba, so we're 5-1 in the beginning. And then we fall to 3-4 down the stretch. So 8-5, not bad. 80-55 overall, but the big storyline today is we're 4-7 in the main event and really struggling there. And we might need to struggle a little bit, to be honest. We might need to struggle a little bit because we've had so many years of great starts that it's kind of about time that we struggle. So 4-7 is not fun. It's not pretty, but that's the way that it goes.
He's gon' fight, wait, he's gon' fight, wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fight of call, UFC at its height, yeah. Bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator, assassin, reckless, no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass